Hey guys, good evening. I'm your host Sharmark. This is the Sharmark Show. And today I have a very interesting guest, like we always do, because at the Sharmark Show, we're about information and we try to inspire you at home for looking at the show. But before we continue today, I must take some time off to say thank you for viewing. I really appreciate all the views and the like and the encouragement towards the Sharmark Show. Today we have Miss Dorothy Phillip. Good evening, ma'am.
Good
How
evening.
are you?
I'm doing okay.
I've been wanting to interview for ever. So I was very happy when you conversation back. I am ready. I have time. If anybody did not know Miss Phillip or you have been seeing her, I really wanted to highlight Miss Phillip. I want me to just pass for International Women Day. I think these was women like that we have to highlight in society because she's the brainchild behind the Faces of Cancer. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. So tell us about how Faces of Cancer came along.
Okay, so in 2008, I was diagnosed with cancer. And at the time, it was like something I never even heard about. Like nobody talked about cancer, so I was clueless. So I am an American citizen, so I decided to go back to the US to do my treatment. And when I entered the first doctor's office, I entered and I saw cancer people. None of them looked like they were dying. When I started my chemo, it was like a party every time I went to chemo. Who bring chocolates? Who bring cookies? Everybody brings something. And while we're doing chemo, everybody's laughing and talking. And when
Wow.
you realize one person is not there and you ask, where's so and so? You might say, oh, she went into hospice. And, you saw that person. They were not looking very sick, but yet still that person was very sick and went into hospice. So having that experience, I decided, you know what, when I come back to Saint Lucia, I want people to realize cancer is not that scary that they could walk around looking like they're zombies. No.
No.
And when I was done with my treatment, oh, my treatment was very long. It was 2 years of treatment.
Wow.
And everything that could go wrong with somebody with cancer actually went wrong with me. So my oncologist asked
So you're a
me,
living testimony.
yes,
Wow.
my oncologist asked me to join her support group because she said I would be such a perfect person for the support group. So I said, okay. I went to 2 meetings. Then I told her, you know what, I want to go back to St. Lucia and I want to start my own support group in St. Lucia because if I could do it for Americans, I could do it for St. Lucians.
I like that. It's almost like you
Yes.
had all that information and you was not selfish about it.
Yes. So I returned to St. Lucia and I started Faces of Cancer St. Lucia.
I like that. So the Faces of Cancer, they have a branch in the States.
No, we don't. I was
So the
thinking,
name, that was your own name.
yes, we get.
Ah,
Actually, a friend of mine came up with the
the
name.
name. I like it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and we ran with the name.
It's the name sounds like there's hope. It's comforting. It's soft. It's not too harsh. It's
Yeah, and
think.
the fact that it's faces, it's actually who we are. We see children, we see men, we see
Yeah.
women, we see people of all different cancers. So it kind of fits into our whole
No, I
thing.
like the fact that you said you see people with all different types of cancer. Because when I used to hear Faces of Cancer, in my mind growing up, I thought it was just breast cancer. And it's only now I realize there's so many different types of cancer. So I realized cancer is the umbrella word. And underneath that name cancer, there's so many different types of cancer.
Yes, there's over 250 types. But what we did at Faces of Cancer, every time somebody came to us with a cancer that was not breast, because everybody knows breast cancer, we would do a brochure to explain what it is. So when we go out to health fairs, we have all of these brochures that we give out to people. We are up to 38 now. We have cancer of the tongue. We have
Cancer of
cancer.
the
Oh,
tongue.
yeah?
That one is from what giving people mepui. Cancer of the
We
tongue.
have cancer of the voice box. We
Wow.
have cancer of the eye, cancer of the nose. Shamak, we have 38 different ones. And these are
38. So it's
only
like
people
every
with
organ of
CNC.
your body can be
That's right.
cancerous.
Yes. You could have,
Interesting.
yes. We have had 3 people with osteosarcoma that came to Faces of Cancer.
Osteosarcoma.
It's like, it's of the soft tissue in the bones.
It's just the knee and
Yeah,
you can,
sometimes it's the knee, sometimes it's the thigh bone. So
okay.
those we had was all of them with the knee. I don't know
Okay.
if you remember years ago there was a girl that her husband had died saving a cow when they had a hurricane or a storm. I think it was Thomas. She
No.
had 5 kids, and after that, she got osteosarcoma. So we actually took care of the family.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow. So the fact that I like that if it they say in the knee, now most times people have a pain in the knee, in
And
the
they
hip.
don't take
We
it
quick to say
serious.
it's 4D and
Mm,
self-diagnose themselves. And sometimes it's something, it might be a small pain,
yeah.
but it's something happening to your body in the process.
That girl, which I told you about, she used to work at SNS, and she fell off a ladder, and she was convinced it's because she fell off the
The
ladder, the
ladder.
knee was hurting her. But she actually had osteosarcoma.
So maybe it was before she fell off the ladder
Exactly.
and she just blamed the ladder. Wow.
Yes. Yes.
So I think the lesson to learn here, St. Lucia, is almost like when I always believe the body is a temple. So most times the is to visit a physician.
Yes.
I mean, like
Yes.
education says well, it's smart to know stuff, is wise to know how your body operate. Because I think for me, sometimes I say that as a joke. Sometimes we busy servicing our vehicles on time and we
But
don't
not
service
service
our
our
body.
bodies.
You know,
Yeah.
we on time with the service, we on time with new tires, changing the tires and our body. So if you keep servicing that body and treat it and give it what it needs, it's
Needs,
going to last a
exactly.
little longer. When you
Longer.
look into the mirror, you can just appreciate what you see.
The same way, Sharmark, back to the self-diagnosing. I mean, it's our in Saint Lucia, we do that a lot. We have a headache, it's something we were thinking about, anything. And
I don't want to the Carol, look at how COVID come. Everybody want to ball boy. Then it's like everybody sent to a bush doctor in St. Lucia. Eh?
yeah, and then you find the adults doing the same to the kids because you have some kids, maybe the kid have a fever or the kid has a swelling. They just say, "Oh, rub it yourself candle," and we do all of these things. And sometimes it's actually that kid has cancer. So every time I give a talk, I always tell the grown-ups, if something is persistent with your child, take the child to the doctor. You
Because
see,
whatever you
two,
do
three
might just
weeks
go away for a couple of days
and
and it
come
will
right back.
return.
Yes, as long as there's persistency, you have to see a doctor.
Yeah. So, as with all your knowledge from the faces of cancer, how often would you think when you go on? I know some people go and do a general checkup. Is it something that you have to tell a doctor check for that, or is it something if the doctors
In
do
some
a general
cases.
checkup, they would see it?
In some cases, I'll tell you why. Let's look at the most common one, breast cancer. If you have a history, your mother has breast cancer, your father has prostate cancer, you have to start checking yourself 10 years earlier than the age at which your parents was diagnosed. So say your mother had cancer at 45. That means from 45, you have to start doing your breast checks, your mammogram, your ultrasounds, whatever. But the doctor will not know that. Ordinarily, you should start checking at age 40. But because of the history, you have to start checking 10 years earlier than when your parents were diagnosed.
Wow.
So sometimes you would go to the doctor and these simple things they would not do because of your age. Unless you tell them.
Yeah. And I think sometimes, and some is, we will go into commercial and we'll be right back. Welcome back. I have my beautiful guest here, Miss Dorothy from Faces of Cancer. Miss Dorothy, I just want to ask the right questions. I have my list of questions here. But so basically the Faces of Cancer would be, you can say it's a support
It's a support group. Yes,
group
yes.
for women.
Actually, I'm a trained patient navigator. So
Hold on. Trained patient navigator meaning?
that's for cancer. Well, my specialty in patient navigation is breast and pancreatic cancer.
Okay.
That's the specialty I did. But the aim of the patient navigator is to take away all your problems when you're going through cancer, and
Okay.
they deal with it. So, like I was telling you before about the people that have the cancer that we sent to Martinique, I made all the contacts for them. I got them the pictures of the people that they're going to interact with when they get to Martinique. You just want to do everything to alleviate
So the
stress.
transition was smooth. Nice.
Exactly.
I like
Go
that.
on and come back.
So it's
But then,
almost like when we see organizations like Faces of Cancer, you know, sometimes you might see them and say, c'est mon ça toujours voulant l'argent. And
exactly.
until you don't reach in the situation, you'd know how powerful or how important it is sometimes when you're okay to make a contribution to the organizations. Because we don't have to wait for when we fall sick or to fall victim to whatever the organization is, because there's so many organizations. There's diabetes, there's so many. And you speaking to me and it's just open a whole kind of worms. And it's like, wow. You know, you used to just say Faces of Cancer, but it's like it's so deep. And just the little information you have given me so far, I find it so deep. And I'm sitting and I'm very cold. I'm like, wow.
We do a lot. The thing about it, I am not employed anywhere, so I have the time, and I'm a workaholic. I've always been a workaholic
Wow.
from when I was working. So I'm always looking for something different, something new to do to assist people. So you find on a Tuesday we're not open because on Tuesday we go to OKU. Tuesday is our OKU day. I cook soup in the morning and bring it over, and we supply oncology, mental wellness, and anybody on the wards with soup.
Oh,
So,
just patients in general.
no, 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 our soup is so. We noted for our soup now. So the nurses want soup, the
Okay,
doctors want
one soup.
soup, everybody
Okay.
wants soup
So
now.
it's like a pumpkin soup?
We do a pumpkin and a vegetable.
Okay, nice.
Yes, and we serve it with crackers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we do
Okay.
that every Tuesday. So on a Tuesday, that's it for us. We don't open our offices
Oh, that's beautiful.
because we
Wow.
have that to do. Apart from that, we go visit people at their homes. We go visit people at the hospital. We give talks. It's a lot.
Now, funny you said you give talks. So if a company wants to invite you over to do a talk with the staff in general, because most times, as I said before, people used to think when you think of cancer, it's just for the females. In the staff in general, how do they go ahead and
They just
arrange
go.
to do that?
They just call and they give me the date they want to do it, and if I'm free, I give the okay. If I'm not, we look for a different date.
Yeah, I think
And
that's very
Shema, the
important.
most important thing that people don't know, when you see we have fundraisers and we're looking for money, people should really give, because when we do things at Faces of Cancer, we don't charge. We don't
Selling from
charge.
me outside.
It's free.
The next time I invite you here, I have a check. No, seriously, because it's like you're saying it, then it's like, wow, because it's a lot, and you don't want to wait behind the scenes. You was not even contributing, because most times when we hear these things, national telephone, all these different organizations, and people have such negative things to say, but when you fall victim to the cause,
Yes.
you sing in a different song.
We give out wheelchairs, walkers, pampers, ostomy supplies, breast prosthesis. We give out a lot of stuff to people because we know the whole treatment of cancer is a very
Expensive
expensive
one.
thing.
And how long Faces of Cancer has been around?
We were around from 2010. From 2010.
2010. Do you get any subventions from the government?
No, we don't. We don't get a subvention from the government. But I must say, in all fairness, when this government just came in, they had put in $10,000 for us, but we did not take it. I'll tell you why. We have been working very hard to get money to assist. There's so many people and groups out there that need. I think we're doing a very good job without the subvention from the government. At the time, since they were just coming in and we all knew the coffers were empty, we figured out it would be a little unconscionable. In fact, I figured this out. Let them use the money to help the country because we know what we just came out of.
Okay, that's understandable.
Yes, but if we got to a state where we're ready to close because we have no money,
Yeah.
I will approach them.
God forbid, yes, and it happen.
Yes,
God
I
works
will.
in mysterious
I will.
ways.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So for yourself, so at this point, right now, so you would say you're a survivor of cancer. Are you? How do you feel?
I feel wonderful.
Praise God.
I am a workaholic, like I tell you, so I guess there's no time for me to think of what is.
Yes, yeah.
But I am being monitored now
I was just
because,
about to ask you
yes.
the fact that you're a survivor, how often do you monitor?
Oh, for
Or you do?
me, different people differently. For me, I was diagnosed with HER2 positive breast cancer, which is there was no maintenance drug that they could give you for that kind of cancer after. Other cancers, they give you a drug for 10 years, some of them for 5 years, but for HER2 positive, there was no drug. So I'm being monitored every 6 months to this day.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So that means you're servicing your vehicle every 6 months.
Yes.
I like that.
So that's why sometimes I'm here and then sometimes I'm not here.
You're
It's
not
time to
here.
go and service.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, yes, yes. So, in terms of breast cancer, is not all types of breast cancer that means you have to remove a breast. They have some you can keep the breast.
Basically, it depends on what stage the
Stage.
cancer
Ah.
is. Yes.
So in terms of the stages, in terms of number, the higher is bad and the lower is good. How
It's
does it
good,
work?
yes. But there's one thing that I find a lot of patients get confused about. You know how we like to read the papers when we get the report? We like to read and play, we doctors.
Yeah.
A lot of times patients would come to me and tell me they're at a stage 1 or stage 2. And when I look at them and listen to them, I said, no, you're not. How do you know? And they'd say, oh, yes, sir, that's why I said, you sure you saw stage 1 or stage 2? Or you saw grade 1 or grade 2? What did you see, stage or grade? And then they go quiet. Most times they see grade and they take it to be that's the stage they are.
So they figure they're in a comfort zone.
Exactly. But the grading is just telling the doctor how aggressive your cancer is. It's not telling them the stage.
Okay, because the stage would be how much of the cancer is in your body.
Right. You have to do your PET CTs or your CTs. You have to do all of that for them to rule out it's not a stage 4 before they can go by what they feel and bring it down to a 3 or 2 or 1. So the stage is different from the grade.
We'll be right back. We'll get more information in terms of the stages of cancer. Welcome back. Tell us a little more about, we were speaking before we went into commercial in terms of the stages of cancer. I think some people, as basically what you were saying, some people when they figure they're stage 1 or stage 2, they figure they're in a comfort zone. Is it a situation where it should be alarm?
There should always be alarm. Once you hear there's a cancer, you should be alarmed.
Agreed.
Because the thing about cancer, today it might be in your breast. It doesn't have no time limit to travel.
We travel.
Well, yes. Next month it could be in your lungs from being in your breast, or
So
it could be in your head.
so when you mean for travel, so that same thing, it's your breast will still be infected, but it just travel to your
Yes,
lungs.
that's when they say it has metastasized. It just goes to a different part. So
So it's like it's almost like a plant. It's in branches. Oh my God.
Yeah, so it could just, and there's no time limit to it. So
Because everybody body reacts differently.
yes. Some cancers are slower than others, so it will take a longer time to get to another place. Some cancers are not very, very slow. Some cancers are very aggressive. So that depends. It depends, yeah. So anything I tell people, anything is an alarm. Take care of it. You have a better chance with a stage 1. There's a better chance of you being cured.
Yeah.
But you still need to take
In general, as a cancer patient or in general, you think the foods, the way we eat now has a lot to do with it? Because I think if we have to go like 20 years back, we used to use more natural stuff. We didn't have all these chemicals. Because I find some people, when you go out there home, I'm thinking like it's thick they play because a lot of all these powdered seasonings and they have no green stuff. So I was like, huh? So it's just look like, I'm not saying that's the cause, but I'm just saying because by the time most times I think a client have cancer, the doctor changed their diet. So it kind of make me feel like whatever we take in has a lot to do with it.
Well, the doctor will only change your diet if that person really have a bad diet. Because normally, if you're going through cancer, you have to eat everything in moderation.
Okay.
Because you want your body to remain healthy because you're going to have a long road ahead. Chemotherapy drugs are very harsh, so you're going to have a long road ahead. And I tell people all the time, you look at some people with cancer and you say, she don't have cancer. Look at her, she has all
Yeah.
her weight.
Yeah.
Ask her how she eats.
Yeah, actually. But even diabetes, you look at some people as diabetic and then they
Mm,
look fabulous, they
yeah,
look
but
good.
some people, the fact that they hear they have cancer, well, everybody out there becomes a doctor. All your friends and
Definitely,
family
yes.
become doctors.
Bec-
So they would tell you, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat the other, don't eat the chicken wings, don't drink milk, don't eat sugar, don't eat. They would tell you, don't a whole lot of
And it's
stuff
too
which your
much
body
information
needs.
and you're
Yes.
killing your own self.
That's right. So instead of getting all the nutrition to help your body withstand the chemo, you're actually starving your body of all these good things that it needs.
Yeah, yeah.
And by the time you get the chemo, you're weak, you're sick, you.
I was actually watching a documentary and they were saying for the females, all these hair extensions they put in, the chemicals they use to process it, cancerous. You think that's true? There's any truth into this?
Well, I'm a strong believer of being natural as
Okay.
much as you can.
Can.
Because on an average, if you look at the women that put all the makeups and the foundation and the what have you, they actually put in over 165 toxins in their body just by doing all of these things between their hair, their skin, and their face. They have all these toxins which they're putting into their body. And do they ever take it out? I mean, when we were little and we were growing up, our parents used to give us the cooling, the purge, the this, the that. So we have time for
Don't do
that.
And even when you made a child, you give something they call lock,
Lock,
and all of that.
exactly. But we don't do that anymore. So
No.
we keep putting in the chemicals and the toxins. The toxins are becoming they how do you call it? They're changing. So they're going from bad to worse. And it's the same toxins we're putting in. So what would have helped us before is no longer helping us now. So I'm a strong believer of going as natural as you can.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I will not put a little something
Yeah, in between.
in
yeah.
between. But
My next question is, what would you like to happen for the Faces of Cancer in the future? Where would you like to see it? What would you like to do?
one thing I have been talking for years about doing is creating, if we cannot do a small hospice for cancer people, a daycare to take them in. Because a lot of times what you see is when they can no longer go out, whoever they live with have to go to work. So these people sometimes are left in the house by themselves. They're left in the house with a little table with everything they might need right there.
And that's shangwe, then
Yes.
you feel alone. It's almost like you left there. You to die, but sometimes it's not that they want to,
They
but the
don't
person
want
have to go to
So the
work.
person have to go to work to better take care
Care
of
of
them.
them, yeah.
And care services now are so expensive
Yes.
that, I mean, you could spend as much as $5,000 a month just paying somebody to come and take care of your loved one. Now, a lot of people don't even get that money for themselves.
Yeah.
So it's a little challenging, you know. Sometimes you'd say, okay, I'll look for a little person just to come and sit down there with her and feed her, but they need more than that. Can that person spot the danger signs to know when to call the ambulance, when not to?
Not to.
You know, that person is not trained to do these things. It's just
So-
somebody.
So that means they might have to have a workshop in the future. It maybe people that have in general
They
just
have
to maybe,
workshops.
or you have
They
to.
have not
to show-
us, but they have workshops. SSDF does some. They have workshops, but you find these people that go to the workshops, they charge when they come out. They charge so much that the ordinary person cannot afford.
Oh. Well, you'll have to find a way at least.
Yes, so that's why I've been thinking from the first patient I saw that really broke my heart. From then on, I've been thinking of a hospice or daycare.
Yeah.
Where we can do something. Maybe we have members. It doesn't have to be expensive. We could have members come and volunteer their time, because we're all about volunteering at Faces of
Yeah.
Cancer.
So maybe the
People don't
stronger
get paid.
members can.
Yes, the
volunteer.
stronger members can come and take care
Yeah.
of others. Because if God has been nice to you, you have to be nice
You
and
have
give
to be
back.
nice.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think for some persons in any illness, it's almost like when people survive it, everything about them change. They see life differently.
Not everybody.
Not
Let me tell you,
everybody.
seen a lot of people when they were sick, they pray to God, God, if you give me, if you help me survive this, when I come back, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll help cancer people, I'll
I
do
was just
this.
about saying that they're promising the organization all kind of things, and then they go back into the same lifestyle.
Exactly.
Come on,
Exactly. You
people, look at
call
my
them to
face.
volunteer,
Yeah.
they don't come.
You have to make time. So it's almost like you want to pimp the organization to your convenience. No, I'm not laughing because it's funny. I would not. It's funny you saying that. People actually do that.
You know when we get the most people wanting to volunteer to be a member of Faces of Cancer? The October Breast Cancer Awareness Month after the walk. Everybody's like, oh, my this died of cancer, my dad died of cancer, I want to come and help. And just give them a month, you'll see how many of them really want to come and
Come
help.
and help. Yeah.
They all gone.
Wow. That's why sometimes when you see people, I admire you because you have to have the passion. You have to
Oh,
cut
yes.
from that tree of humanitarian.
Yes, you must have
and
the
all of
passion for that. And that is another reason I tell people, a lot of people is tell me when we go out, oh, why will you ask people to come and join? I said, no. I want them to use their heart and decide if this is something they really have a passion for and want to do it.
And want to do it.
If that's what it is, then you can come.
Because when you have the passion, you don't want people to come in and you put more pressure on you and they're not reliable.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. We'll have to invite you because, Boje, we have to discuss that over tea because and a little crackers, a little soup you going to the hospital, you bring a container for me because and we'll discuss because I think we need more information. I think this is a lot and I learned a lot. So I say thank you so much.
You're most welcome,
and I'll
thank you
try
for
my
having
best
me.
and not be one of those persons to get involved in whatever way I can. We have to do something because now I know because I see you all the time I was driving. I said, "Lady, you're always busy. You should have a resting space." But you look like you're very busy. You have a
Yes.
lot on your plate.
Yes.
So before you leave, what would you like to leave to encourage Saint Lucians in terms of when it comes to cancer? Little tips on how to take care of themselves, or just how do they reach out to the Faces of Cancer?
So, Sharmark, we do a lot at Faces of Cancer. Right now, from January, we're running a clinic once a month. Because we used to do these health fairs 4 times a year. We're still going to do the health fairs. We just had one in the town hall in February. But we have this extra because what you find, people used to be calling all through the, when is the next health fair? I have a problem. So now once a month, we have a doctor at Faces of Cancer.
Oh, no.
They can come in and get tests and they see the doctor for free. They have a problem, a health problem. It doesn't necessarily have to be cancer. I try and encourage everybody because sometimes you don't know you have cancer.
And where
have
you
another
located?
Tapia.
Tapia, okay.
Yes.
So they can just catch the Tapia bus by the Catholic Church.
Exactly.
And then,
Yes.
So yeah, my people $2.
Yes. And the clinic is always free. The only thing I ask people to call first because I don't want to do more than 10 a
And what
day.
is the digits?
384-2637.
Okay, nice. Give us the digits one more time.
384-2637.
Saint Lucia, thank you so much. You got all this information we got from the Faces of Cancer. I just hope you all take it and you listen to it, you share a friend. And if you want to listen to the video again, we have a recap on Sunday. And it's very important. I think we need to come together as a nation for things like that. Thank you so much for coming. And you
You're
look
most welcome.
fabulous.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.